Welcome back. I'm Kevin O'Keefe. At issue today, globe-trotting teenagers out to make a difference. The World Vision Youth Ambassador Program gives young people a chance to experience life in a developing country. Joining me in the studio is Youth Ambassador Rosemary McKee, who just returned from Rwanda, and Skyping me from Nova Scotia is 17-year-old Anna Fricker, who went to Tanzania, East Africa last year. Welcome to the show, both of you.
Thank you.
I want to start with you, Anna. How did your trip to Africa change your life?
Well, it really opened my mind to other things, different things that are out there in the world. It allowed me to experience a new culture, a different country, and a different way of life. And bringing that back to Canada has really made me look at my life and the way that we live here very differently.
You said to Patrick that you went from youth ambassador to youth advocate. What did you mean by that?
Well, going as a youth ambassador to Tanzania, we're just going there to see the situation and learn the stories of the people and kind of have those stories to bring back to Canada. So when we do come back to Canada, that's when we start advocating for World Vision and for the issues that are going on over there. So yeah, you stay an ambassador, but you become an advocate.
I want to ask you a bit about your trip. What was the experience like for you when you went to Tanzania?
It was an incredible experience. It was definitely challenging at times, but I think that's what made it such a life-changing experience. You know, it was like nothing I had ever done before, and it was, like I said, challenging, but we had lots of great supportive people around us, and that made all the difference.
Tell me about the challenges. What was most challenging about it?
I think the emotional challenges were the biggest, just meeting the people and kind of getting to know them and making new friends, but having to leave them afterwards was really difficult, and coming back and wondering what happened to them and how are they doing now. So that was really challenging.
I understand you met people who didn't have enough food to eat, and you didn't know whether they were going to eat the next day.
Yes, we definitely encountered families that were struggling as far as food and clean water went. Also, children who needed medication that they may or may not be able to get. And leaving a situation like that with no answers as to whether or not they were going to find what they needed and get what they needed, it's kind of leaves you wondering when you come back.
How did you deal with the emotion that brought up?
Well, it was really great to have the other youth ambassadors around me. They were all fantastic people, and we created what was like a little family for us while we were there, and we supported each other and we encouraged each other, and we were all experiencing the same thing. So it was, I held on to the support that they gave me.
I just asked Rosemary about when she just got back from Rwanda last week, and she'd mentioned that there was certainly culture shock and challenges being in Africa, but coming back, there are new challenges in terms of adjusting to life back in Canada. Did you experience that?
Absolutely. It is a culture shock when you arrive in Tanzania, or in Rosemary's case, Rwanda, just to adjust to the culture, the different way of life. But coming back, I would say that it's sometimes more of a culture shock, because you realize how much we have and how little we think of it sometimes. And getting used to that is difficult at first.
Is there any advice you would give to Rosemary? She just got back last week. What helped you deal with the culture shock?
Definitely getting back with my family and friends and sort of talking to them about what I'd seen and what I was feeling, and they were also supportive and wonderful. It helped me a lot to remember that, yes, we have a lot, and we shouldn't feel guilty about that as long as we appreciate what we do have.
You mentioned that sometimes it's difficult to talk to your friends about it because they have no sort of point of reference about what you went through. Have you had that challenge, talking to your friends about it?
My friends have been pretty good, very supportive, but at the same time, they weren't there and they haven't seen it the way that I've seen it. So speaking to them about it, there's sort of like a disconnect almost, because they haven't been there. But it's encouraging that they want to hear my stories and that they always ask me about it and to tell them more, which I really appreciate.
Anything you want to ask Rosemary about what she went through?
Just what did you like most about the experience? What was challenging?
Oh, that's hard. Everyone asks me what my favorite moment is, but it's hard to say because there are so many moments that I treasure. Just being with the people, seeing, like, the youth farm was awesome. I think there's just little things that will always remain with me.
And Anna, do you have any advice for Rosemary now that she's recently returned?
Yeah, I would say as soon as you're all rested up and ready to go, just start working right away. You have all that passion now, and you have the memories are really clear in your mind, and the stories are there. So get out and start advocating right away, and it'll just get better and easier as the year goes on.
What did you do when you came back, Anna?
After about a week or so of resting and getting back to normal, I just started telling people about what I had experienced, started with family and friends, like Rosemary said, and got comfortable talking about it because it can be an emotional experience sharing those stories. And then I started setting up presentations with schools or community groups and getting the stories out there.
And do you have any advice you'd like to ask Anna about what's it like when you come back?
Yeah, I guess I just would like to know, like, what's your most favorite thing you've done in the year you've been a youth ambassador, like advocating for World Vision?
Oh, that's so hard to say. There's been a lot of really amazing experiences. Going around with Youth Empowered was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
What's Youth Empowered?
Youth Empowered is kind of a cross-country tour that World Vision does during the winter months. They bring over an ambassador from Tanzania and Rwanda last year, and they may include the DRC this year. And they take them across the country and visit schools and other groups and share their stories. So they take the Canadian youth ambassadors with them at times and allow us to get involved and share the experience.
And in terms of reaching out to people, effective ways to do that, did you have any success, Anna, in terms of the best way to explain the experience? You know, because Rosemary's going to be doing that this year. Do you have any tips for her on how to, I guess, communicate it to other people?
It is difficult to communicate it because, as she said, they weren't there, they didn't experience the same things, and they didn't meet the people, see the faces, and to try to convey the emotion is difficult at times. What's worked for me in the past is making sure there are a lot of staggering statistics and huge numbers, and a lot of times those just fly over people's heads. So what I try to do is make it more personal, talk about one child or one family, and try to make that personal connection. And I think that gets through to people a little more than big numbers.
And she's already talked to me about a grandmother that you met who was caring for young children, so that's probably be a good story to tell. Anna, what advice would you give to somebody who's watching this right now, who's thinking about maybe they feel sort of inspired to do something, maybe traveling overseas and doing sort of the kind of work that you did? What advice would you give to them?
I would say go for it. If you, you know, it can be a scary experience, and it can be something that I'd say when I went, I was unprepared for it. I didn't know what exactly I was doing. I just knew I wanted to do it, and I think I'm a much stronger person because of that. So find something that you're passionate about, or find an organization that stands for what you believe in, and yeah, go for it. It's going to be an amazing experience, and it'll help you in all aspects of your life.
Well, thank you both for coming in and talking today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Well, when we return, no need to travel halfway around the world to make change happen, helping out at home after this.